global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello great people, welcome back to our channel. As Nigerians are fast-tracking their political analysis to 2027 because of the economic crisis that is going on in the country, one of the key stakeholders in NNPP, Buba Galadima, has taken time to talk about what APC is doing in form of decimating PDP, Labour Party, and what they should expect as a nightmare. He went further to talk about what he called a day of reckoning and why he doesn't believe in zoning. He further also spoke about the secretary to the federal government, talking about Akome and why he is protecting his seat. All of that we're going to give you in a jiffy. Now, according to the news, the chieftain of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Buba Galadima, has disclosed that he is not a supporter of the idea of zoning in Nigerian politics. The elder statesman argued that zoning has not brought equity and has not impacted governance in Nigeria. Speaking during an interview which was published today, the NNPP chieftain submitted that there is no form of intimidation that would prevent them from producing an alternative presidential candidate in the 2027 elections. According to him, the ruling All Progressive Congress APC is doing all within its power to compromise opposition parties and ensure that they support its candidate or can produce an alternative in the 2027 presidential election. In his words, he says, are they doing equity? Have you asked Nigerians on the street if there is equity in what is happening in Nigeria today? The day of reckoning is coming in 2027. I don't believe in zoning, and I have done that because I was a member of the Constituent Assembly in 1987, Constitution Conference in 1994, and I have been a member of the National Conference in 2014, so I should know better. We designed this constitution. I know every letter of it. The issue of importance is whether there is going to be a vacancy in 2027. I want to tell you that there is no amount of intimidation by anybody, even at the point of killing, that can stop Nigerians from producing an alternative presidential candidate. And I want to say that Nigerians should know it today that they are sending emissaries to compromise leaders of political parties, offering tens of billions to this political leader. On the issue of decimating the political parties in the country, this was a position that the NNPP chieftain said. He said they are promising that to all political parties to align with the agenda of the present government so that in 2027 there will be no candidate. You see how they are trying to decimate political parties. They have decimated the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the ground. They have decimated the Labour Party, LP. They have decimated the All Progressive Congress Alliance. We don't even know which way they are heading. They can't. On the issue of NNPP, he says they can't because we are too smart for them. Of course, you know that they are trying to destabilize Kano State, but Alhaji Kwankwanso is their nightmare. On the probability that Kwankwanso will contest the 2027 election, Galadima was of the opinion that the former Kano State governor has a right under the constitution to contest political position. In his word, he said he is a Nigerian from the north and the constitution has given him the right to contest if the opportunity is there. Kwankwanso is a Nigerian, and if he feels he is strong enough and got enough support, he will contest. What stops him? That was his position. And as a response to what the secretary to the government of the Federation, Akome, said about no vacancy in Asa Rock, this was the position of the NNPP chieftain. He said, well, in the first place, I wouldn't want to discuss Nigerian issue on the basis of North and South. I am a nationalist and I will remain so until I die. But the issue would be about equity and justice. And for me, Akome, a sociologist and a brother of a historian, should have known better. If he looks at Asa Villa, which he said there is no vacancy, he should know that other people were there before, namely General Buhari, General Babangida, Chief Shinikon, General Abata, General Abubakar, Chief Obasanjo, Njo, Yar'Adua, Jonathan, and now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So if all the 10 former presidents and head of states that stayed there are no more there, he should also know that one day, sooner or later, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will also go. Nigerians behave as if they don't understand history. If you are talking of region, Akume is one of the people I respect very much, because as governor of Benue State in 1999, he was one of the foremost northerners that worked for the interests of the North. In fact, he was more northern than the Caliphate, because Akume spent most of his time defending the new Nigerian Development Corporation, NNDC, and Bank of the North. At the point, only Benue had commanding shares in Bank of the North. For him to make a somersault over what he believed is in before, I just laugh and say, well, the man is protecting his gari, that's cassava flour. Did he really make a somersault? His words were clear based on opinions on the Gentleman Agreement by political parties since 1999. He was talking about rotation of presidency between the North and South, 2 tenures of 4 years each. That's 8 years in total. I thought you will go back. You started from the end. I don't want to discuss North and South, but if that is what you want us to educate Nigerians on, by 2027, the South would have ruled this country since 1999 for 18 years and a half, while the North have ruled for only 9 years and a half, 8 years of Buhari and one and a half year of Yar'Adua, which mean automatically that you can revert to the North so they can make up for the deficit, if that is what he is talking about. But I believe in who has delivered on his promises to Nigerians. Has that man occupying that seat ameliorated the condition of the people? We would ask Akume for their scorecard. NNPP Chieftain argue further that Nigeria is practicing democracy and not a monarchy, so it is left to the citizen, not one person, to determine their next leader. According to him, he says, what have they done for Nigerians? Are we practicing monarchy? I thought it is democracy. That's why I don't want to talk about North and South. What I want to talk about is who delivered on the dividends of democracy to Nigerians. If President Tinubu delivered very well and Sheyi, his son, would be the best to succeed him, for me, I have no problem. But what the people feel now is their bodies will determine what they will vote in 2027. There is big vacancy in Asa Rock. In fact, there is nobody occupying that seat in 2027 according to the Nigerian constitution. So Akume's assertion is only laughable. When I heard it and looked at him talking about that, I said, my friend is protecting his gari. That was the conclusion that Galadima gave about the statement made by the Secretary of the Government of the Federation. And interestingly, this has triggered a lot of reactions from Nigerians. My colleague is in the house. What's your standpoint on the position that the chieftain of NNPP has taken in respect to the fact that there is a vacancy in Asa Rock, despite the fact that Akume is saying allow the Southerners to rule for as long as 8 years? Do you think that the Northerners have a plan which they are going to rule out and possibly may lead to kicking Bola Ahmed Tinubu out of office?
Whatever plans they have, they should remember that they will also need some level of Southerners to execute that plan. Our constitution, electoral constitution, is worded in such a way that you need, the both regions. You need both the North and South region equitably to become the president, which means Nigerians in all regions will need to vote for you. So whatever it is they are selling, or whoever it is they want to sell, they may need to convince Nigerians that that person is well enough or is good enough to take us out of this economic nightmare we find ourselves in. But the truth be told, most Southerners would not want to allow the Northerners to come in now, not because of anything, but because of this unwritten constitution we have that is always 8 years for the North and 8 years for the South. However, what is being constructed it should be respected. Now, if they want to go by his calculation of 27 years, of which 9.5 is theirs and whatever remains is South, we are going to scatter the whole system. System has corrected itself one way or the other. I believe personally that they will shoot themselves again in the leg if any prominent party brings a Northerner